Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. Alpha 3.7.0 is now out to the first wave of PTU, which means that Eva Carty are joined by concierge and subscriber players, and it also means that we can start talking about the patch. Let's take a look at 3.7 PTU as it stands at the moment's new features and updates. Ship rentals have been added. Kiosks can be found at TISA Spaceport in Lawville, Vantage Rentals, and Riker Memorial Spaceport in Area 18, Traveller Rentals. Players can specify the rental duration of 1, 3, or 30 days, with longer times being better overall value. Rented ships are treated as being owned by the player during that period too, so they can be reclaimed and customised freely. The time remaining on the rental is shown on the Mobiglass and the ASOP terminals. FPS or on-foot mining has also been added. Players can now mine small rocks for valuable commodities with a multi-tool and ore mining attachment. You can get these at major landing zones like Conscientious Objects at Levski and Tammy & Sons at Lawville Hurston and Area 18 as well. Once equipped via the utility slot on the Personal Manager app, the sort of player equipment app on the Mobiglass, players will need to aim down sights with that multi-tool while looking at a mineable node, and you'll be shown a UI interface for mining laser strength and fracture window similar to that of the prospector mining, and then you can use the mouse wheel to adjust the power of the laser. Keep it in the sweet spot on the left in the green zone for a period of time without going into the red zone for too long, and you'll successfully fracture the rock. Valuable minerals will be broken off and can be collected by hand and then stowed directly in the personal inventory of the player. So player personal inventory has also been added, and it can be accessed using the interaction mode. So you hold F down and selecting the little dot at the bottom of the screen, or you can just press tab. From there, a radial menu will appear showing your overall storage available. The amount a player can carry is based on the type of the armor they're wearing, with storage capabilities and capacities shown on kiosks and shop displays as well. Players can also highlight and drop items as well as store all of them in a carryable box, which can then be stored in the cargo grid of a ship and then be detected by terminals and kiosks that you'd sell at. The commodity and trading kiosks now detect player personal inventories as well, so you can sell directly from your character. Harvestable objects can be found and collected at various planetary bodies. They are valuable and can be stowed in the player inventory to be sold at kiosks later. Currently, harvestables can be found on the surface of Hurston, Ariel, Aberdeen, and Daymar, as well as within all caves. Now, caves have been added to Daymar, Hurston, and Aberdeen. They are part of missions. So there's a new Find Missing Person mission there, and they are likely to contain lots of harvestables and minables. Caves can be pretty massive, and they are going to be adding more caves across the Stanton system, across different planets and moons, I suspect, throughout the PTU phase and before 3.7 live, but we'll have to wait and see. If you want to spelunk and harvest, then there are a couple of things that can help you. Flares, they can be purchased at Conscientious Objects on Levski, Cubby Blast at Area 18, Tammy and Sons at Lawville, and Live Fire at Port Olisar. They are equipped in a utility slot, and then you can interact with them when they've been pulled out of utility slot. To activate them, you can even throw them around. The light from the flares, or glow sticks, is incredibly useful in caves and dark areas. It is a very good light for seeing long distances. There is also a larger inventory capacity armor with backpack attachment rucksack available at Conscientious Objects on Levski and Cubby Blast at Area 18 and Tammy & Sons on Lawville as well, and I recommend people using those if you want to harvest stuff, if you want to mine stuff on foot. Landing zones will now restrict landing privileges based on crime stats, so most major landing zones now will stop anyone with a crime stat of 2 or more from landing there. So if you've got a crime stat of 1, you'll probably be okay. Grimhex will allow anyone to land with any crime stat, including those players that are flying around in stolen ships. Either you can literally land your stolen ships there. Rest stops and Levski will allow anyone with up to a wanted level of 3 to land, but not to land in stolen ships. Players can now share missions as well. Accepted missions now have the share option, which shares the mission with all members of a player's current party. Upon mission completion, the total payout is divided up among the party members. Mission sharing is absolutely great. Awesome. 3 new ships have been added currently into the 3.7 PTU cycle. So the Aegis Vanguard variants, the Harbinger and Sentinel, but also the much-awaited Banu Defender, which has a special shield that can be operated best by 2 people via the advanced hardening mechanics it has. The idea here is that the co-pilot could adjust the hardening aspect of it on the MFD that they have, while the pilot focuses on flying and engaging enemies. As part of this, they've removed the size 1 and 3 tachyon cannons, and the size 2 tachyon cannon, which is left, can only now be equipped to the Banu Defender. So they are trying to make it feel more alien and, you know, use the alien-y weapons. Some small ships can now mount size 2 gimbals in size 1 hardpoints to allow them to basically gimbal size 1 weapons. This does not give them access to size 2 weapons, but does allow them to run size 1 auto gimbal and gimbaled weapon sort of loadouts. The ships that can do this include the Auroras, Mustangs, Merlin, Archimedes, the 85X, the Nox, Dragonfly, and Prospector. This shouldn't be OP, in my opinion. It's intended to make starters and less combat-ready ships a bit more competitive, but, you know, shouldn't be super OP. We'll have to play around with that, though. If starter ships just start wrecking fully laden combat ships, then maybe they need a little bit more balance. They've added the new IFCS proximity assist system. This replaces hover mode for near-surface control, dampens ship accelerations when you get near to the surfaces of planets, and allows the pilot to better find control when moving around. It's enabled by default. Proximity assist can be disabled via the options menu. They've also added a keybind J to manually toggle capable ships into VTOL mode, shifting the thrust orientation downwards or back to a traditional mode when desired. There is some other new weapons and equipment as well. The Kroneg FL-33 laser cannon is a high damage ship weapon with long range energy sort of blasts, designed for versatile usage at medium to long range. Various sizes can be found at Dumpers Depot on Port Olisar and Area 18 at Center Mass. The Salvo frag pistol, which has high damage and high accuracy, can also be fired as a mini shotgun and can be purchased at Live Fire at Port Olisar, Hurston L2 and a Crusader L1 rest stops, Scutters, and Tammy & Sons. There's been additional weapon sight attachments added, as well as reworked the current ones. So we've got a hollow 1 times, a hollow 2 times. They've reworked the 3 times hollow, the 4 times telescopic, and the red dot. They've added new barrel and underbarrel attachments as well, including a flashlight, laser sight suppressor, flash hider, hides muzzle flash, a compensator which reduces recoil, and energy stabilizer, which again is recoil reduction. Like other attachments, these can be found at shops that sell compatible firearms. Activate attachments with the U key. Weapon descriptions give the compatible sizes for all available attachment slots. There are some additional changes to missions and gameplay. All mission rewards have been updated. They've improved AI combat ship behavior for more dynamic target selection and engagement based on relevant threats. There's been lots of fixes to AI in general as well. They've updated AI service beacons with waves of enemies, more challenging opponents, and better kill rewards. They've reworked the level 5 wanted distraction mission. FPS combat AI will now prioritize targets based on distance, visibility, and incoming damage, and should engage the player more effectively. They've temporarily disabled escort-style missions. They've adjusted misdemeanor fine values, including a significant reduction in illegal parking fees. They've also made crime stat restrictions more lenient for mission offerings. Temporarily removed several city locations from the delivery system as well have been made. There's been some electronic access updates. They've updated Pirate Swarm to have 10 waves and a new suite of opponent ships. The final wave also features an extra challenge with a hammerhead as a boss, though some Merlin wingmen may come and aid you after a certain amount of time. Arena Commander and the Persistent Universe now maintain separate ship and item databases. The status and loadout of your ships in the Persistent Universe have no standing on your ships in Arena Commander. Loadout customization is also specific to each game mode and is no longer transferable. Rented items and ships done in Arena Commander customization menus will only be available in that mode and vice versa for purchased or rented items and ships in the Persistent Universe. There are also updates to Star Marine with a new elimination map, The Good Doctor. The map is set in a research station that surveys rock formations, natural gases, flora, and fauna. It's supposed to be 100 years pre-Persistent Universe time, and on Layer 2 on Lore, you can actually see some of the planet there when you're in that map, and it is much brighter and a very cool looking location actually. The character customizer has been updated to version 2 and been streamlined to create better flow for players to create their characters. Players now start by selecting a gender and a base head. Other heads can then be blended with the base as a whole or as isolated features by selecting on either the left column or on the region the player wishes to customize on the head itself. There's a load of other smaller updates and bug fixes as well. They've added a voice activation option for VoIP transmission available in the options menu. They've improved the chat interface and multiple channels to support VoIP and FOIP. They've adjusted the position of some of the no-fly zones around horizontal hangars at Area 18. They've updated tablet grip templates so players can turn items like computer blades in their hand properly. They've updated the flashlight. Stamina usage to increase sprint time and regeneration rates has been updated. Aerial's height map distribution has been updated. There's temporarily been the removal of the Hurston L2 rest stop. They've removed the Argo from Area 18's spaceport. They've increased the Cry Astro refueling rates for larger ships. They've reworked the audio for EMP. They've fixed automated gimbals, so it only requires the firing solution to be in the cone as originally intended. They've updated the nose array on the hoplite with its ballistic repeaters, the Sawbuck variant. They've changed the exterior paint on the hoplite as well. They've slightly increased engine trails to increase motion readability. They've rebalanced the recoil for the Kana rifle. They've added a visor message that should notify a player if they are intentionally not respawned in a ship bed they had previously logged out to help track down issues with bed logout, and bed logging out and logging in should work much more consistently now. There have been various shield fixes to issues with ships having holes and losing shields. HUDs disappearing, blur, and some other issues with quantum travel have been fixed. Gravity and collision issues in some locations have been fixed. Delivery missions should now work more consistently. They fixed scope magnification values on existing site attachments. The 890 jump should consume less fuel, have countermeasures, and have its shields working properly. And it should also have its usables updated and a larger health pool. Service beacons should no longer spam players either. The patch does not contain all the features that 3.7 Live is planned to. Some are only partly implemented, and there's likely going to be bugs because it's in the PTU phase. It's not going to represent the live state of the game, and there's a good load of known issues currently that CIG are working through before we can have a live build as well. There's obviously another few things that they actually need to put in. Currently, there's collision that prevents entry into the Bandit Defender, but it is flyable in Arena Commander for those that own it. Also, you can emote sleep into the ship and then quickly use the chair there as you're getting up from sleep to actually get into the ship properly. Players with a level 1 crime stat cannot request hangar doors to be open while leaving Area 18 or Lorville. Changes made on the character customizer do not appear in the Persistent Universe. Equipping any of the new Chroneg weapons onto a ship will negatively affect the ship's pitch and roll speeds. Snoopy Cap appears in hairstyle options on the character customizer. P-72's ship description contains placeholder text. In Star Marine, Damien comms enemy indicators can sometimes be seen through walls. There's a chance that a vehicle will become unresponsive after quantum travel. The CRU, the Crusader L5, rest stop is obstructed from most directions. The Freelancer Dur does not spawn correctly and is usually unreachable. The Miss Freelancer bounces on the pad when spawned. Darneely, the mission giver, uses the wrong audio dialogue when offering a mission. NPC beacons will sometimes display an incorrect distance. Players cannot complete the Corvus Darneely down satellite counter mission after killing the opposing player when they are in possession of the computer blade. Maintenance mission objective boxes vanish when they are picked up and dropped. The video feed for the ATC is currently blank. The air traffic control. AI ships travelling along a route will often get stuck. They're attempting to quantum travel to destinations from orbit of ArcCorp or its moons may result in a player colliding with the surface. Obviously, that is not a great one. None of these are great. Ships can spin excessively out of control when their wings are clipped. Landing illegally and having your ship despawn while a box mission is inside will break that mission progress. AI security ships are not correctly dampening player quantum travel. Players in the same ship may see the ship in different locations. That's a weird one. The textures on the Reclaimer's main turret are incorrect. There's a large rectangular area missing from the surface of Daymar around one of the caves. Multiple scope crosshairs are off-center when viewed in aim-down sights. Corpses at derelicts are hidden under objectives or the hull sometimes. Players may crash when loading into the industrial hangar. Players may crash when changing hair back to original when using the character customizer. Ships may display as rented if the player exits to title while a claim is in progress. The distortion scanner guns currently have light blue texture issues. If you leave and re-enter the commodity kiosk, and the sell tab icons will remain even though you are on the buy screen. And that's it for the initial first wave PTU release of 3.7.0. I'm awaiting the RSA Mantis and Quantum Enforcement with bated breath, along with CIG fixing a load of those known issues, as well as getting the 3.7 issues fully working. Hopefully, all for the live build on the 10th of October. That's what it looks like they are planning. But what do you think? Are you in the first wave of PTU access? Have you been playing? Are you pleased to see ship rentals, caves, harvestables, and a load of new content? Or are you awaiting the live build before playing? Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. Every month we have a ship giveaway. For October, it's an Anvil Carrack Explorer ship that should hopefully be flyable in Alpha 3.8 at the end of the year. Just comment on any of my videos made during October to be in for a chance to win that. There's an Azatec giveaway as well. They make cool CPU coolers. See what I did there? And at the moment, they're giving away 8 of these lovely CPU coolers with my logo on. So there's a lot of BoredGamer branded ones. I'll put a link down below for that separate giveaway too. I am also shilling for NordVPN and Shadow gaming PCs, so use the code BoredGamer for discounts there. NordVPN, in a world of censorship and privacy issues, VPNs allow you to browse the net and play games in more safety. NordVPN has many benefits over free VPNs, and that's why I shill for it. Some of you also might be interested in Shadow cloud gaming stuff. This allows you an alternative to sort of like buying and maintaining your own gaming PC. You can stream a custom Windows 10 environment to devices like your phone, a laptop, or a crappier, lesser PC, and bam, it's fantastically powerful and it's maintained and hardware is regularly updated for you. It's a fantastic service, Shadow. Cloud gaming certainly has quite a big future ahead of it. If you'd like to further support my channel, please consider subscribing, sharing this video, ringing the YouTube bell so you get notifications when a video goes live. This is a channel that is funded by the community via donations, Patreon members, YouTube members, and anyone else that wants to get involved with comments and helping. Thank you to everyone that goes the extra mile. Take care, and I will see you in the verse.